What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be ranking each Tpot episode on a scale from 1 to 10. If I rank an episode less than a 4 out of 10, that means the episode is If I rate an episode a 4 to 5 out of 10, it's just And if I rank an episode a 6 to 7 out of 10, it's good. And 8 to 9 out of 10 means it's really good. And 10 out of 10 means the holy grace of the internet. Now let's get right into the ranking. Tpot 1 is an episode that got us just started off with the season, and it did it in a really good way. It was one of the more unique beginner episodes of the season, and it's just overall good writing, good everything. The challenge was good, but it doesn't hold up as much when you compare it to the challenges now. But I feel like that just the episode overall still holds up to this day. So, because of it being a just well-rounded episode, and it being the first episode of the season, you're gonna have to give it a good ranking, which is why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Now we're on to Tpot 2. Tpot 2 is easily in the top 10 best BFDI episodes in my opinion. It has a lot of action, it's funny, and the plot is well structured. And that's really all you could ask for out of an episode. There's just one problem with it. We waited almost a year and a half for this episode to come out. It did deliver, but I don't think I can give it a 10 out of 10 solely because of that. I know the Jacknjellify team is busy, but it's just not my favorite. And there's one episode I like more than it. So I'm just going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. Tpot 3 is just a good episode. It wasn't anything groundbreaking or mind-blowing. It's just good. It's definitely a downgrade from Tpot 1 and 2. I'll admit the challenge was better than Tpot 1's. But there just wasn't as much action as either of them. And the episode just felt a little bit more bland, but that's my opinion. And it has the same big problem that Tpot 2 had. Us having to wait nearly a year for this episode to come out. The episode is good. It just has more flaws than Tpot 1 and 2 had. Still an enjoyable episode, though. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Tpot 4. I definitely like Tpot 4 more than Tpot 3. This episode was just funnier in my opinion, and it was less bland. I still don't think it's better than Tpot 1 or 2, though. So I'm just gonna get this one over with 2 and just give it an 8 out of 10. Tpot 5 is definitely my kind of episode. I still don't think it's better than Tpot 1 or 2, but it's really close to being up there with Tpot 1. I'll admit, the episode it did feel a little bit lazy in terms of writing. But besides that, this episode's good in my opinion. It did have some bland moments and ideas that I don't think were really thought out. But besides that, it's a good episode. I'm just gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. Tpot 6 is definitely better than Tpot 3, 4, and 5. It had a better plot, the challenge was more unique, 4 and X came back, which I did not expect in the slightest, and the episode was fairly funny, in my opinion. So I'm gonna give this episode a 9 out of 10. It's a really good episode, and I really liked it. Tpot 7 is a really good episode in my opinion, and it's definitely top 3 Tpot episodes. It had plenty of action, the challenge was unique, and it was more emotional than most other episodes. And I really liked that, because they didn't really do much with the emotional thing ever since like BFB 30. So I'm really glad that they did that again. And that's really all I have to say about the episode. So I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. Tpot 8 is once again a really good episode. I loved the amount of action in this episode, and it was even funny at times. There's one problem with it. The episode felt a little bit rushed. The episode was shorter, but then again, that's probably because they released it earlier than they did the other episodes. They released this one like a month after episode 7 instead of 2 months like they normally do. But the fact that the episode seemed rushed and still managed to be really good, I'm gonna have to give this a 9 out of 10. The only problem with it was literally just it being rushed. In my opinion, it just felt rushed. It probably wasn't, or maybe it was, I don't know. Alright, now for the best episode in BFDI history, in my opinion, is Tpot 9. If you hate this episode, you can go to... This episode was just so good. You never would expect a zombie apocalypse outbreak, wouldn't you? No, you wouldn't. The episode was scary, and it was even funny at times. It wasn't that funny though, it was more serious, but that's what it was meant to be going for, a more serious tone, which is what I love. The plot was ridiculously well structured. Every single character had some kind of development in the episode, and this episode is just the definition of perfect. It's just so good. If you hate this episode, I will come to your house and